gliding up, and a lot of that damage is going to be there. But for now, I think Ritual, Cold, Peterbot, they know another trio went up toward this mountain, so they're just not trying to lose focus, go for the boss, and try to get beams. So now that the third team's up there, it's just going to make it a little bit more risky for all three of the trios, not just Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual.
And notice with every island that gets occupied, so does the very prestigious material that comes with it. All that brick being taken straight into another team's hands here. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual have to make a decision quickly now, as they haven't picked up any eliminations. And, you know, it's very telling so far of the strength of the lobby, right? We all knew that Peterbot might have taken a fight early on against the trio nearby, but it seems like that didn't end up working out in their favor. Meanwhile, Bolts, Rapid, and Kanata right now, only 230 damage above the threshold. It must be extremely high, given that we saw them kind of in an early game clash. And they're not content with this high ground spot. They want to get out of here. Too many teams are up top. It seems like they're going to be the first to go.
Yeah, and not only that, but from what we've seen throughout the group stages, we can even throw the play-in stages, watching a couple of these streams, is this isn't the easiest place to get surge for a lot of these teams, especially if you're down below. But Ritual, Peterbot, Cold, they did not take an early game fight, but they followed teams around to try to get their surge early. They're 533 above that damage threshold, really setting the tone and the pace. And you see how passive they're playing. I feel like they're almost waiting for another one of those teams to either disengage off the island or start the boss. When the boss gets started, you know there's so much destruction and chaos to the builds. I feel like that's when they're going to try to make a move.
Definitely would be a prime opportunity to take a fight. Quanti, Edgy, and Byla, even though they got into that little skirmish, you can see that the pickup was good for Edgy and Byla. Quanti getting them back in the game. However, they are still below the surge. Now, there are shots happening just on the edge of the zone here, so you should see Quanti and team get a little bit active here shortly. However, I'm wondering, is that his team actually? Is he's the furthest behind right now? No, it's looks like Sinetto and Veer's trio battling on the edge. Here's Power, Polis, and Listen. They've again been contested, and still here's a team that didn't finish their fight either.
Looks like Okus might be back in the game. Trying to see if I see any of his teammates nearby, because it was, I believe, Bucky and Craze that went down very early on. Can he get the reboot? That's going to be the big question. Luckily for him, it's finally leaving away from Foxy Floodgate. For Power, Listen, and Polis, they're continuously falling further and further below the threshold. A big shot like that from Power is going to ease up a little bit that pressure, but you can see it's not going to be enough. Still 140 below. Out come the splashes, the heals from the team, but they have to start getting proactive. They have to get this damage, otherwise they'll be left with nothing and no damage.
And what's crazy about that, they could have gotten the elimination onto Okus, but it looks like the Surge did that for them. So more damage lost because they couldn't find the chance, and it looks like Curly, Virgo, and Noxie's patience pays off here, as they were also under Surge pressure. But look at that. 3 eliminations come walking into their box. Now they have all the damage that they need, and they are very much in this game right now. Rapid, Bolts, Kanata, a bit split apart from one another, also fishing for damage right now, and you can see they are victims of the Surge as well. Very hurt trios starting to take place here. Still, they find themselves right on the edge.
It's almost like a blessing and a curse being one of the premier teams in the lobby, because we always talk about how much space they've been able to claim from the top of Demon Dojo on the mountains all the way down to Pump and Pipes, almost into the Shatter Span, Dropper Muzz, Rise, and Yapko. That means they're not going to be able to get as much surge. They're going to have to go on the hunt for it, and if things don't go their way, exactly this will happen. Below the threshold, on the hunt, trying to find some heals. The rest of the team still trying to find the shots that they need. Kanata finding an opportunity to backside the zone. That's Mason, that's Chance, that's Donnie, but they're still below. Even with opportunities like that, they still have to find more.
These shots Kanata are putting down are what we would call clutch shots right now. They're giving him the damage he needs, but the clock is ticking. Now, here's the problem. You have Bolts fishing up for heals right now, and then they're just trickling behind. Meanwhile, Clicks, Ianzo, Batman, Booga getting active right now, also below the Surge. They're going to find elimination. They need more damage. 20 walks into the box. They find him as well. And this is going to be the saving grace for this trio. They need the Siphon to start ticking here. There it is. It's going to keep them alive and healthy now. Water Sprites are down. And what a close one for Clicks, Ianzo, and Batman Booga there, as they were nearly sent back to the lobby. And what a refresher as well. So much material being picked up here.
Oh no, and we finally tuned back in. Bolts is now by himself. Kanata, Rapid, both out. finally finds his way up that damage threshold, but instantly back down below. 9, he gets ticked by 1, but it finally turns off, but immediately back on. That just goes to show how grueling and stacked this lobby is. I think from here to the rest of the game, it might not even shut off, so Boltz knows proactivity is going to be key. He has to continue to look the backside of these zones and take advantage of these teams that are fighting each other.
Wow, what a call. Boat says, you know what, I gotta get closer. I need to get in the action right now. Otherwise, I am gonna get sent right back to the lobby. And look, he finds a little bit of a refresher. That's gonna be a moment for him here. Let's go ahead and have something to work with. Back to his base he goes. He wants to play the range game, but notice he put metal down. He's gonna have to end up working through that. And instead, he starts looking towards the opposite direction here. But if Boltz doesn't find tags now, it's gonna be all over here shortly in the coming moments.
Yeah, you can definitely just kind of put him on the clock. 145, that's about like 5 good shots with that hollow twister, but no one's really given an opportunity. Brick, metal, it's even hard to break through that to try to get what you need. On the other side of the map, you see in Storm Surge really dictating a lot of what we're seeing here today. Ritual goes down. Peterbot and Cold only 42 above that damage threshold.
Oh, no,
even with the
Ritual's
Battalion,
down.
They're still not finding those opportunities to get what they need without risking it all.
It's Chimp who finds Ritual there. Victor V's trio set up and find the full elimination. Peterbot and Cold forced to actually back off here. And they're going to retreat all the way back up to the high ground, but no, a shortcoming there. Couldn't actually get to the island, so instead they have to work their way around. Cold left solo now. Up he goes here. This is a full-on refresh back to the loot that they left behind here on the island. A very smart and tactical retreat here. However, they will have to play this out as a two-man team. Talk about, and you know, you just never know what's gonna happen on a final stage. If you could have told me that Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual will be in such a desperate situation come game 1, I'd say you were lying for sure.
For some reason, though, I don't even feel too worried. It's Peterbot, it's Cold, it's 2 of the most individually skilled players that we have in this game right now. I feel like if anybody can make it work as a duo, it is going to be them. But a team that qualified after getting a reboot in the group stages from 2nd place to 1st, Agers, Acorn, and Poyo, some of the most experienced team in the lobby in terms of FNCS championships. One of the things that we saw in that group stages was they were struggling a little bit when it came to Surge. That kind of dictated and forced their hand in certain situations, but it's great to see they learned from their mistakes. In Zone 7, they're 271 above that threshold.
And a team that's not too very far off. Sphinx, Cooper, and Vidil looking like they need to get absolutely active here. A full-on fight breaking out right now. Japco, Muzz, and Rise getting into the bots of another trio there. Talk about chaos unfolding right now. And the feed starting to light up here to really reflect the danger in the lobby.
I'm seeing Mason go down, Curve, 2 different teams losing players, even Donnie. Sphinx, though, the IGL of the team, with 167 below the damage threshold, there's a lot of pressure for him to try to figure out what is the game plan, especially with one of the farthest pulls in the lobby. And now you add on the fact that it's active Surge. Cooper just got taken down because of it. Now it's up to him and Vidil, and by the looks of it, they do not have a lot of resources to heal this. 7 seconds left, 25 HP. He's looking to try to hold this spot, hold the line. 1 HP in a dream. Vidil has it as well. They're getting pressured from all around. Sphinx goes down. Vidil can only take 2 ticks, but now he's above the damage threshold. He just needs to figure out a way to survive, but out of materials, out of time, they go down.
I was going to say, very valiant effort. Sphinx to go for the trade, the tags there to go ahead and give Vidil just a moment away from the Surge. However, it was just a matter of time before the rest of the lobby caught up. Fully healthy now. Peterbot, Cold jump up to the high ground here. This is I would say, an act of desperation right now to put up the flex. They don't really have the mats to hold this out. However, they're puffing their chest out, trying to look bigger than they really are here, and avoiding damage of the low ground. Quixiamzo, Batman, Booga. Here's my favorite team, I think, to take the weekend. Situated very, very comfortably here come this mid game right now, or actually I should say the end game, as we're starting to inch our way towards it. But Cold and Peterbot starting to get things back under control now from the high ground.
Yeah, this is usually the stage of the game where really everybody's kind of going through battles down below. They don't really have too much time to look up, and that's a blessing for Cold and Peterbot. As soon as a duo or trio sees it, they usually like to try to make a lit game play, and you see a lot of their resources being split between the two because they don't have a lot left. And that's where you see him peeking through the cone. Clix is seeing that as a sign of weakness. We can see a potential Clix and Yamzo Bat and Booga high ground retake.
Oh, what a play would that be? They're eyeing things up. They're trying to decide as they're the furthest team to rotate here. Plenty of charges left in a Void Oni Mask as well. So they're not going to have a single problem rotating through the rest of this end game. Meanwhile, Cold and Peterbot only have 2 or 3 charges up top. So a much different story, but Clix, Yamzo, Batman, Booga land themselves in a world of trouble here. Teams everywhere forced to go through their heavy mats now. The call comes to get up off the layer. Batman, Booga is the last to jump up, but it seems like they have now gathered themselves a moment here. Jacko, Muzz, and Ryzo are running things on the low ground. They seem to have this fully under control at the moment.
Yeah, 36. It's not a huge feeling of confidence for Storm Surge, but they know at this stage of the game it's going to be more than enough. Agers, Acorn, Poyo, they find another elimination, and they move to the front side of zone, and you kind of notice they're staying away from that ultimate low ground. That's where the chaos, that's where the desperation comes in from a lot of those teams trying to scrape together any bit of placement points.
Crazy to think there was about 5 teams that were really the favorites to take the weekend away, and most of them are still in this game right now. Gonna make for a very interesting game 1 here in the coming moments. Acorn, though, flying too close to the sun, gets the attention of the high ground teams. Meanwhile, the Yamzo gets a huge refresher here with Clix and Batman Booga. They are very much in this game as well, and notice they're not playing for low ground right now. They're looking to possibly go for high ground as well. And what a sleeper trio here. Threats and Booga still alive right now, working their low ground spot.
It was big clutches by Booga that kept him in it to get him to this stage, and now we're seeing another opportunity with Threats by his side. This is a duo that has so much experience through last year's FNCS with a big knock in the backside of zone. Agers, Poyo, and Acorn, though, looking like they will not be stopped at any opportunity in turn. They take down and bulldoze through every trio in front of them.
This is crazy. Big set of eliminations there. 7 for Agers and company. Meanwhile, somehow Peterbot and Cold still have high ground, but for how much longer? Clix has turned his attention up to the top here, and they're putting a little bit of pressure down. You can see it's just wood builds. They're completely out. Cold gets knocked down. Agers goes for high. Poyo and Acorn have it now, and they're building up, and it's fully secured here.
No one is going to be able to stop them from here on out. The zone's getting smaller. Peterbot by himself, 4 builds. He has the medallion. That's going to be the hope, but right behind him, that's going to be Clix, Batman, Booga, Yamzo leading the way. He's trying to break into its heart, but he doesn't really have any options outside of the zone. The last of the splashes, his only chance to heal, to try to stay alive inside of the top 7. Almost find elimination onto it, Cryptid. If he can get this, he can. That siphon is keeping him alive.
Insane, and the fact that he just can't be seen here because the medallion keeps him invisible. Look at him go! And onto Rise's layer he goes as well. Look at him, just working his way up and down, sneaking, threatening everyone nearby. Another elimination, and Peterbot is starting to heat up.
It's feeling of deja vu from the Global Championship. He does it again. Yamzo goes down. This is why we call him one of the most dangerous players in the game. Clix narrowly escaping, almost getting taken down, but Peterbot's not done just yet. Shield's getting cracked. He finds another one on the Clix. Can anybody stop him?
He is still going single-handedly, keeping his team in the game now, and just like that, a top 4 position. But let's turn our focus to who could win this game right now. Poyo, Agers, Acorn in control of the high ground, looking to work their way towards 10 eliminations. There's still 2 teams left. They're fully healthy. Jabco's gonna get one, and Agers is the first to fall, but a trade happens, and it's all going down now, Jacob. It's up to Muzz here. Can he clutch it up?
That was only 2 of our 3 trios. Down below, they went through unnoticed. Down goes Muzz. Poyo's trying to drop down from above. Acorn's already there, taking a lot of damage. He's going to get dropped. Poyo by himself. Can he make the heroic play? He knows some of them are weak. He's trying to take advantage, but out and around. That's going to be a minute. Braids from down below. Visuals there as well. 3v1, but Poyo's not going to be stopped. Down goes a Minish. 9 HP. Finally making it into the zone. He's trying to let the Storm do his work for the Siphon to come into play.
Very smart play right there. He's going to heal up. It's all up to visuals now. It's going to come down to a single shot. Poyo does not miss. He connects when it matters, and he will win game number 1.
What did we just witness? I thought the clutches were over. First Donnie in the group stages, then 20 in the LCQ. Now Poyo on the biggest stage in the Major 1 final, showing that this roster change for him was worth it.